Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavad shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome at the heart is almost completely destroyed in loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Ajnanatamrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai. Today we're looking at Canto 10 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 9, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Chapter 4.
Ooh, went backwards. Chapter 4. Entitled The Atrocities of King Kans. And where are we?
We're reading three translations, 25, 26, and 27, 28, 4.
Starting with 25, is that right? And we're ending where?
28.
28. Okay, here we go. 25 then. When Devaki saw her brother actually repentant while explaining ordained, she was relieved of all anger. Similarly, Vasudeva was also free from anger. Smiling, he spoke to Kamsa as follows. O great personality Kamsa, only by the influence of ignorance does one accept the material body and bodily ego. What you have said about this philosophy is correct. Persons in the bodily concept of life, lacking self-realization, differentiate in terms of this is mine and this belongs to another. Persons with the vision of differentiation are imbued with the material qualities, lamentation, jubilation, fear, envy, greed, illusion, and madness. They are influenced by the immediate cause, which they are busy counteracting, because they have no knowledge of the remote supreme cause, the personality of Godhead. Shukadeva Goswami continued, thus having been addressed in purity by Devaki and Vasudeva, who were very much appeased, Kamsa felt pleased, and with their permission he entered his home. Okay, so it's 28 that we do, right? 27, wow. Sheesh. Shoka harsha bhayadvesha Lobha moha madanvita Mito kyantang na pashanti Bhavair bhavang pritagdrishaha
Shoka harsha bhayadvesha.
Shoka harsha bhayadvesha.
Jayanti Prabhu.
Oh, no, I'm not sure about this. Lobha moha madanvita.
Lobha moha madanvita. Hare Krishna. Mito jnanatam na pashyanti.
Mito Gyantung Napashanti. Bhavair Bhavam Prita Drishaha. Very good, very good. Shoka Harsha Bhaya Dvesha. Vadan Vit, the pronunciation, Vadan Vita. Ah, it's a long A. It's not Okay? It's got a slash over it. So next. Mito Gyantam Dapashanti. Bhavair Bhavam Pritag Drisha.
Shoka Harsha Vaya Dresh Lo.
No, only first one. That's okay.
Harsha Bhaya Dvesha.
Lobha Moha Madan Vita.
Lobha Moha Vadan Vita. Hello. To Gyantung Dapashanti.
Bhavir Bhavam Tata Drisha.
Bhavair Bhavam Pritag Drisha.
Shoka Harsha Bhaya Dvesha.
Shoka Harsha Bhaya Dvesha.
Lobha Moha Madan Vita.
Lobha Vadan Vita. Vita. Who did that? Who said that? Okay, we just try to correct you guys. So.
Mito Ganantam Napasyanti.
Without Gyantam Pashanti.
Bhavar Bhavam Prasad Trisha.
Okay, great. I just want to make a comment. Can devotees just try to be here on time? You know, I mean, some of you are taking 10 minutes to get here. Just from the temple room, zip down here. Okay, just like like in school. You know. And you go to your next class. Okay, Shoka. Lamentation. Harsha. Jubilation. Bhaya. Fear. Dvesha. Envy. Lobha. Greed. Moha. Illusion. Mada. Madness. Anvita. Endowed with. Mittaha. One another. Gyantam. Engaged in killing. Napashanti. Do not see. Bhavahai. Because of such differentiation. Bhavam. The situation in relation to the Supreme Lord. Pritagdrishaha. Persons who see everything as separate from the control of the Lord. Translation. Sorry. And one more thing. Everyone should sit respectfully. I don't want to see this kind of stuff. Okay? Persons with the vision of differentiation are imbued with the material qualities, lamentation, jubilation, fear, envy, greed, illusion, and madness. They are influenced by the immediate cause, which they are busy counteracting because they have no knowledge of the remote supreme cause, the personality of Godhead. Let's do it together, please. Persons with the vision of differentiation are imbued with the material qualities, lamentation, jubilation, fear, envy, greed, illusion, and madness. They are influenced by the immediate cause, which they are busy counteracting because they have no knowledge of the remote supreme cause, the personality of Godhead. And purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Hare Krishna. Jai. Krishna is the cause of all. Sarva Karana Karanam. But who has no
engagement,
connection with is disturbed by immediate causes and cannot restrain his his vision of separation or differences. When an expert physician treats a patient, okay, he tries to find the original cause of the disease and is not diverted by the symptoms of that original cause. Similarly, a devotee is never disturbed, that's right, by reverses in life. Tate nukampam susamikshamanaha, from the Bhagavatam 10:14-8. A devotee understands that when he is in distress, this is due to his own past misdeeds, which are now accruing reactions, although, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, these are only very slight. Karmani nirdadhati kintu chabakti bhajam. That's from the Brahma Samhita, right? 554. When a devotee
Like demon?
under the protection of the SPG, Personality of God, is to suffer because of faults in his past deeds, he passes through only a little misery by the grace of the Lord. Although the disease of a is due to mistake. Mistakes committed some in the he agrees to suffer and tolerate such miseries, and he depends fully on the Supreme Personality of God. Thus, he is never affected by material conditions of lamentation, jubilation, lost my fingers, and so on. A devotee never sees anything to be unconnected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Madhvacharya, quoting from the Bhavishya Purana, says, Bhagavat darshanadhyasya virodat darshanam pritag drishti savigyayo natu sad beda darshanaha. Hare Krishna, there's no translation. It's not my fault. Hare Krishna. Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhatare Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Pranamani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Virvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Okay, so the person who's been doing a lot of talking with Kamsa is Vasudev. And that was also something that he did at the wedding day. Does anybody remember? Kamsa was doing this. And behind him was seated his sister, Devaki. And next to her was brother-in-law, Vasudev. And then when he heard the prophetic voice from the sky, the eighth child born of you will be the death of you, right? So he reacted, grabbed her, exposed her neck, and was ready to lower it. And Vasudev got in there in the nick of time, and he said, "This is crazy." Vasudev held him there, and he got very philosophical. Why are you so afraid of death? If you're 25 years old, that means you're 25 years dead. He went on and on and on philosophically, and I don't know how long he could hold that sword down. But, eventually Kamsa, gave in. Because Vasudev made a commitment, and he said, any children that are born to us, we will give them to you. You can do with them as you like. It was a, sudden reaction by Vasudev, maybe he could have come up with a, a formal paper, a document, and make some kind of agreement, sign on the dotted line, etc., sign in blood or whatever. And Kamsa, we saw there that his reaction, okay, Vasudev, you're a man of gold. Your word is as good as gold. I accept what you say. So he kind of relented. He actually calmed down. He simmered down, if you will, use that term, and life went on. Well, life went on in a kind of okay way, but Kamsa, who actually, after the firstborn child was presented to Kamsa, you know how he reacted. He actually he was soft. He was actually soft. The baby was right in front of him, and he could have gone coochie coochie coo, but his heart melted, and he saw this little baby, pretty innocent, and so I think, you can go, Vasudev, go. And Vasudev was convinced that he probably would lose that first boy, but he kept to his word, which is a really an amazing trait. A Vaishnava keeps his word, keeps his vows. We make vows, and we keep our vows, right? If you don't keep your vows, then people will present their wows. Wow, Nowadays, it's nothing. Anybody who sticks to the principles of regular principles of freedom, then we can say, wow, that's. I remember it was a few years ago. We had some girls from the Gurukul visiting us from Huntington Gurukul, and there was a couple living here with us in room number 4. Who's in room number 4? Is that number 4 or is it number 3? The corner room. That's where you are. Yeah. So there was a mother in there. Her name was Janavi. She's a god sister, and her husband Nanda Kishore. They had twins. Okay, and the twins spend a little time in that room. And they were very charming. And but the reason why I want to say this is because children are what they are. They're very, they need affection. Prabhupada said, here's what he wrote, objects of affection. Children are objects of affection. Now, what happened to the girls they had asked Nanda Kishore and Janavi how long they were married for. And it was 25 years. And the girls went, oh, they've been married for 25 years? Like that was a shock to them because their experience was not that, People give up on each other really fast. It's a feature of Kali Yuga, for sure. Okay, so Vasudeva is committed. Devaki is committed. These are great souls. You can't find any better people. They are the creme de la creme. Anybody French here? Anybody French? Creme de la creme. The cream of the cream of Vaishnavas. Vasudeva gave the child over, and then Kamsa looked at him, and his heart softened, once again. And he said, you can take your child. There's no fear from this boy. It's the 8th child that I heard that will challenge me. So this is the first. So you can have him back. Okay, so Kamsa did this. He was soft-hearted. But the problem is, when one rules, even if you're a good monarch or a bad monarch, you usually have some council members, right? You have some people you talk to. You take advisors, right? And you know what they did? They all, the advisors that Kamsa just ganged up on him. Why did you do that? And then part of the story is that Narada Muni came in and he said, because it was inevitable that these children, there would be infanticide, events. Children would be killed, babies would be destroyed. Narada Muni gave some kind of indication. I think we better get on with the show here. Anyway, so it was Narada Muni who spoke to Kamsa. Okay, so Narada Muni, he's also the creme de la creme. Why would Narada do this? Why would he encourage, for these Leela to take place? Well, he's accelerating the inevitable, that Kamsa would at some point get all riled up and kill. So he did get all riled up, and then he killed the firstborn, and there were a series of children after that. It's pretty atrocious, isn't it? You think killing babies? They had, that's atrocious, I remember people missing child, and then have, pass by, and it's almost like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen. That person might show up on your doorstep. Remember me? Like 30 years later, and these are all emotional things. So this pastime of the Lord coming into the world and all the atrocities that are surrounding the Lord's birth are really something, it's an incredible drama. And I think I mentioned to you all before that in the Windsor Star, they did an article, it was a comparison of Jesus and Krishna. So in Jesus' life, there was King Herod, and he was known to have gonorrhea and all kinds of, other things. They exhumed his body or something, So they found out all kinds of things about this madman. And there was an order that went around by King Herod, kill all the boys that were born in the last so many days, because there was some prophecy also. So it was Jesus and his parents were kind of trying to find a place. They were fleeing, and they eventually ended up in a manger with cows. So you want to compare the life studies? It's very interesting. A lot of parallels between Krishna and Jesus, But one is the Father and the other is the Son. Are we okay with that? Because if you talk to some Christians, they say, no, he's God. He is God. But he said he's the Son. And we should be perfect like the Father in heaven. So there's a lot of references to that. Anyways, we won't talk about that debate or that argument. It's not worth it. But when the Lord comes, you can expect there's going to be a drama, right? And that's exactly what's happening here. So now the story brings us to the point of Durga, isn't it? I've been gone for a little while. Isn't it? The child comes and takes this, and there's Kams and there's King Kong. And King Kong is a nice guy compared to him. But here he once again, his heart softened after he was chastised by the goddess. Severely chastised. She lowered, like she got strong on him, became boisterous and chastised him like everything. He was shaking in his dhoti. And he became very humiliated, which is what everybody needs, right? We need to be humiliated. We need to be corrected by someone. It can be an elder, it can be Manu, it can be one of the, like Dhruva also got chastised heavily by Manu, after he got vengeful against the slayers of his brother, So it's okay, one should be ready to take the chastisement, And that's the way children are dealt with too. You have to raise your voice, and then, or if you got a pet dog and you train the dog, you stop that, and I mean, it kind of shakes them up a little bit, and that's what's needed. So once again, got into this position of, being humble for a few seconds, a few minutes, and we know of some fellows Americans who went to the Vietnam War, and they were surrounded by the enemy, and they went on their knees and they started to pray to God, which they were not necessarily doing before. They were enjoying life. There was weed to be smoked. There was all kinds of enjoyment, opportunities here and there. But when they're in that their life is being threatened, they'll get down on their knees. After some time, though, when things passes and people offer you a cigarette, and you crack a few jokes. Oh, yeah, what was I thinking? You know, but those moments of humility are an advanced stage of life when we become humbled or we become embarrassed. Have you ever been embarrassed before? Yes? You know, there's different, it happens sometimes, doesn't it?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I remember Srila Prabhupada, he was chastising Govindadasi for bringing him, food, and there were grains. It was an Ekadashi, and he got really stern with her. He got really heavy. It came out like a ton of bricks, which Prabhupada would do from time to time. Like people couldn't understand him sometimes. He was heavy sometimes. You know, like even at a Pandal program, why did he get so, because Prabhupada would get furious if someone would propose some Mayavad philosophy or something like that. And he would get really, really stern with some people, and sometimes people, why is this Swami, he's a sadhu, why is he getting so angry? Well, there are times when you must get angry. I mean, Hanuman was angry against you-know-who. Boom, 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 boom. Krishna got angry with Arjuna. Hey man, what's going on here? Well, you're supposed to be, let's get out there. And Arjuna was sulking. And then we have other examples. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got angry at Jagai and Madai. He was really angry, and he was invoking his chakra, which would easily slice better than the guy on the Greyhound bus. Any job that could be happening there. Yeah, so these are moments of sobriety. Some of the best moments that people can go through in a regular day is when someone dies in their family or their spouse or something like. You know why? Because they sober up. They sober up and they become humbled. I've been to quite a few funerals. We were at one, you were with me, went to Windsor, right? Was that you that drove me?
Windsor?
Yeah. After Windsor, we had to leave because there were two funerals back to back that we had to attend, right? So what happens is that, and I don't mind, I think of it as a service to always lead people in kirtan. That's the best thing you can do. And people will do it. They will do it. Because they're at a moment of sobriety. Srila Prabhupada uses that word, sober. Right? Dhirastatara namayati from the Bhagavad Gita. How does the verse go? Dehinasmin. So dhira means sober. Usually it refers to somebody who's got a dry moment after having been having a few drinks or whiskey swigs, and then going crazy and being out of your mind, But if you could actually stop the drinking, like I think I told you, Prabhu's the other day, I met Johnny. This is on my second walk across Canada. It was day number 2 of my walk in Newfoundland. And Johnny saw me. He said, I like George Harrison. He just came out and said, George Harrison. I said, I feel really great right now. And I said, why are you feeling so good? He says, because I stopped drinking. When did you stop? This morning. Yeah, so they are good sobering times. It's about the only time that people reality hits them at these sobering moments, So when there's death, it's not a bad thing necessarily, And it prepares you for when you go, As we said the other day on Prabhupada's disappearance, we were all young when he passed away. We didn't have much experience amongst our own families because we were young. Our parents were still alive, And maybe our granddad died or something like that, but he's on the old country, he's somewhere else. Didn't impact you, right? But when you start to see that your friends are going, or your disciples are going, or something like this, and then you start to, it becomes kind of okay, this is life. That's life. Does anybody know the song? That's life. That's what all the people say. And that goes on. It's a crooner song. So that's life. And Krishna makes it very clear. That is life. But be sober through all these changes, the changes of the body. Because we're dealing with dualities. There's dualities. Yes, dualities. There's dual means two, right? And we have three modes of material nature. We have 4 defects. We also have 4, what else? 4 miseries, you know? 4 janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha darshanam. Dukkha means miseries, 4 miseries. There's a lot that come in 2, 3, and 4, right? And then number 5. Yes, senses. Number 6, mind, who's part of the subtle sense. And there's how many? There's 7 what? Sages, stars that guide us. No, you've been in the play. Number 8.
I think there's balls in the body.
What's number 8? There's 5 senses.
Elements.
Yes, that's right. Okay, they're elements. Yes. Okay, and the subtle, separated energies. And then there's 9 gates.
Oh,
Yeah.
gates.
Yeah, so God gives us a beautiful countdown. We call that part of the play, the countdown. And it's very important that Krishna gives the countdown. Now, just let's reflect on the Gita for a minute, okay? The crescendo to the Gita would be, you'd think it'd be at the end, chapter 18. And then comes into a nice happy ending. But it happens in chapter 11, the Viratru, right? That's where the explosiveness, that's where the fireworks begin, right? And then there's, what, after that? How many more chapters are there after that?
Yeah, it was 12, 13, 14, 15.
Well, after, that's 12, so you got another, how many? 7 chapters of information that still has to come out there. And the Gita actually doesn't end with a crescendo. It doesn't, not like with that boom, boom. It doesn't end like that. With Arjuna's change of heart, yes, it does. I'm prepared now to act according to your instructions. That is kind of like the crescendo. But there's no big explosion there, right? So, it's an interesting conversation that they're having, these 2 great personalities. And, but it starts off with some hard-hitting stuff. And as we mentioned earlier on, Krishna gets angry. He explodes. And Prabhupada puts it like this. He said, Krishna's saying, you are fool number 1 to Arjuna. Yeah. So these things need to come our way, and we should be ready for it. Should be ready for it. Being, like say, a ton of bricks falling down on you. We need that. We need it. We need to be shaken up. The reality check. I remember I was in Manitoba, and one guy, he pulled over, and he was a Christian. He was just a fairly young guy in his pickup, and he went to pick up some of the garbage. It was his section of the highway, or what do they call that? Share a highway, or what? You have to clean up your. There's a term. How many people are drivers here?
Yeah.
Adopt a highway. Yeah. So it was his section for adopt the highway. He picked it up and he said, so I understand you're Hare Krishna, blah, blah, blah. He went on and on for a little bit. And then he was, let's say, bitching a little bit, if I can use that term. Say, Canadians could use some reality check. Reality check. So reality check. Everybody needs this check, even devotees of the Lord. We need it. We get complacent. You know why? Because we have the best food. We got nice rooms, we got nice company, you know, we sing and dance all the time, you know, and hardly there's anything to worry about. Am I painting the picture correctly? Is my palette doing good, you know, here? Am I painting the right picture?
Yeah.
So we can get a little complacent about things and about life, okay? Then something's gonna hit some of you, ding, like this. Maybe I need to be married, okay? and then, okay, and then you're in a you're in a Maya phase now, okay? It's all dreamy. There's what stars, angels, fairies, you know? It's a big illusion, big time illusion, you know? And then after it hits you really hard, after the union has happened, after the people have got together, the two, and that the lovebirds have come together, and then I thought I had a lovebird. It's more like a vulture. More like a vulture, and then reality kicks in. Okay, then you have to really, you know, the romance period is over. Romance is short. You know, the honeymoon's over, yeah. Doesn't let the honey is gone, and the moon is gone. And then reality kicks in. Oh my God, I've been with this person, and we've got some children now, so I guess I better stick with it. Okay, and then after a while, you know, you reflect on what's positive about that person. That's what you have to do, because that's the Vaishnav thing to do. A Vaishnav is an optimist, not a pessimist, right? There's nothing worse than pessimism. In fact, to be cynical is a sin, if you can remember that. It's actually cynical to be cynical. If you're cultivating bhakti, you should never be cynical. You know, it's a sin to be cynical. And, you know, one of the devotees explained that, you know how English is derived from a lot of old German words? So the word sin apparently comes from uppsundar. Uppsundar. You know what that means, to break away? So when you think sin is the cause of breaking away. Breaking away from you know who. Yes, that's right. So we've been doing a very good job at that. You know, the batting average is very good. They're better than the Blue Jays, you know, at doing these things. And so that is our problem. So we need reality checks. And it looks like Kamsa was getting a few of those reality checks. You know, he's having moments of kindness. We know that even Hitler, we mentioned this the other day, Hitler, you know, he's a cruel, bastard. And, but he was a vegetarian. He had a soft spot for animals somehow. Some people who are against vegetarianism, they use that example. You know, Hitler, he was a vegetarian. It's evil to be a vegetarian. You know, so they got their stake against us. Stake, hey. All right, so if this can happen to Kamsa, if he can become soft-hearted, then what to speak of us? We also need to get there. We need to be there. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. At this point, we'll see what you've got in your notes. Maybe you could just take something from your notes and share it with us. Is that okay? We'll start with you, my dear.
I've written down quite a few things, Maharaj.
Yeah, but we just want one, Prabhu. Otherwise, if you give them all, it'll be a true reality check.
So I really like the point where you mentioned when you get humble or chastised, that movement of humiliation is the advancement in bhakti.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm. Good, bravo.
Usually when someone dies or leaves, people tend to sober up.
When who sobers up?
When someone close to you dies or leaves, then they tend to sober up. And
when someone gets on your case. Is that what you're saying? Okay, bravo.
I think this thing about this quote is from the Shinbagzam, Canto 6, like with the story of Ajamil. He was lamenting about losing all of his material, you know, all of his attachment. And he was very jubilant in bunny years in his material life. But there was also so much envy and fear that he actually had and greed. So when you were reading this quote, or this text, that's what I was also thinking about. And also that, you know, sometimes,
Just one point.
yeah, just that.
Thank you. Just because we have limited time. Okay? Go ahead.
A Vaishnava is optimistic.
Jai ho.
Chastisement is important.
Mhm.
Yuva was chastised by Manu so that he gets back onto the
Yes.
track. And the last point, sorry, I know you're still on, the last point, Hitler mentioned, we mentioned about Hitler.
About?
You mentioned about Hitler being vegetarian, but yet he didn't have compassion for humans. So
That's right.
often, you know, so we may show compassion towards animals, but not towards fellow humans, so that's a very important.
Mm. Good, bravo.
Reality check is very important for devotees.
Mhm. For devotees also, yes. Bravo. Who would you like to see?
Me?
Yeah.
I would say kindness is a very important part of human life,
Mhm.
so be kind.
Yes, good. If it's like your smile, then. You know.
I really like the fact that when you said that if you are in bhakti, then being sinful, like you should be away from sins. That's
Cynical.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what like is a takeaway, and of course all the other points that I.
Mhm. Thank you. Andrew? Okay, that's a good point.
You mentioned that we need to be shaken up and that reality
Yeah.
check is needed.
Mhm. We need a milkshake. We need a self-shake. Very good.
I was gonna say the same, the reality check, I think that's very important.
Mhm. Absolutely. Bravo. Karan Sindhu? I just came. That's a reality check. Come on time! Arr! Prabhupada wants us. Harkumar, do you have a comment? You don't. That's very honest. Prabhu? No, you have to say something. Come on. Anything. Next time. Okay, that's real honest. I don't want. No more excuses from here on. Go ahead.
What is the definition of material qualities are always creation madness?
You're asking me a question?
No, I'm saying it.
No, there's no time for questions. We're asking you just to take note of something we said. That's all. Okay.
Everything is a big part of big plan, like.
Everything's part of a big plan. That's your
Yes.
reflection. For sure it is. Yes, even for Krishna installed Kamsa there and, you know, have all these atrocities. It's all part of a plan. It's a setup. My good friend, he just turned 80, Mukund is his name. He's a Jewish teacher, actually. A psychologist, yep, yeah. And he once said that this whole Mahabharata is like a big setup by God, you know. This whole drama will roll out so that we can understand who becomes who and who's who and what's what. Yeah, good.
If we cultivate bhakti, we should never be cynical.
We should not
Never be cynical.
never be cynical. Bravo. Cynical people are just really hard to be with. Approve? We didn't have it.
Vaishnava always keeps his words.
Ah, very good. Bravo.
That's a good one.
And Manil?
I think all my points are covered, but I would say Vaishnavas, they keep their word.
Okay. It's underscored.
Humiliation is a part of process for spiritual advancement.
Humiliation, yes. Well, we covered everybody pretty much, and there's still some time left. Are there any questions? Yes,
Maharaj, Kamsa was having a change of heart time to time.
yeah.
Why was he going back to his, nature of being?
Well, it is a sign of madness. A moody person, would you say Kamsa's moody? Moody or Modi, it's the same. It's the same, like in the modes. One of my good friends also, he was a motivational speaker. Peter Burwash, he was born here, and then he set up his own tennis school. And he once said, a moody person is selfish. Why? If you're dealing with unpredictable period. Unpredictable. They always talk about women having menopause and you can't predict what's going to happen. Well, they found men have that kind of thing going on too. So it doesn't matter, when is that person going to explode? Just when? When will the lava come out? You know how the volcano, and then, and then blow, burn your house down because you're on the side of the mountain. When is it going to happen? It's just a matter of time. Yeah. So we have to certainly, assert and insert these messages about, a shakeup will come. Be ready for it. Get humiliated. Be ready for it. It's okay. It's going to help you. And when you get humiliated, that means you're exposed. You're exposed. And you can't hide from it. You're not going to go to court on it. We saw you. You're on the screen. Where's the camera, by the way? Is there a camera here? Okay. We saw it's on the screen. You can't deny it. So it's good that there are witnesses. Paramatma is a witness. The sun is a witness, the moon is a witness, the stars are witnesses. There are all kinds of demigods who are witnesses. And then there's Paramatma, who's in the heart, also witnessing. And plus, you've got other people who are, got their eyes on you. So that's why we have to behave. Good. Any other questions? Si, senor.
It's kind of hard to digest the fact how you mentioned moody people are selfish.
Shellfish?
Selfish. Because I personally tend to go more moody, usually.
No, you don't. You're not moody.
You're the last person to be moody.
You're not moody. Is he moody?
Never.
No, he's always smiling.
He's always like this.
Yeah.
Sometimes he is.
Once in a while he is, but he never gets angry. He never becomes a volcano.
No.
So you're an inspiration to people. He reminds me of like a beaver. He's ready. Big tree, big tree. I hope I didn't humiliate you.
Advancement. Blessings and advancement.
Okay.
No,
So-
but just to go on the point that you said exposed, I think it also accountability. Like as devotees, sometimes I don't want to say pretend, but we think that we're on a certain level. So the other devotees around us actually really keeps us, kind of level-headed and holding ourselves accountable.
Yes.
To make those strides accordingly.
Yeah, we need our checks and balances, isn't it? It's important. That's why gurus there. That's why mentors are there. There's senior devotees who are there, to be like a mentor for you. We need that. Okay, Prabhus.